Don't you just love new parents? They take every opportunity to brag about their new baby. But the truth is, a baby doesn't do anything. It is a crying, screaming, eating ball of flesh. But that doesn't stop a new parent. This kid falls asleep like no other kid has ever fallen asleep. This kid will eat green vegetables and not complain at all. This kid is the most regular of any kid. I remember when Bella was about 3 months old, I thought I was the greatest parent in the history of parenting. I could spend hours bragging about my 2 kids. And so if I was in Joseph's shoes or Mary's shoes at the beginning of our gospel reading this morning, when Simeon and Anna started singing the praises of my kids, I would have said, "Thank you. It's about time somebody noticed what I have noticed. This is the greatest kid, isn't it?" Finally. And not only did Simeon and Anna approach them and sing their child's praises, but Luke tells us they have been waiting for decades to do this. So put yourself in Mary and Joseph's shoes. Listen, I've been waiting 70 years to tell you this. But your child is the greatest child who's ever been born in the history of humanity. Yes. That's what I thought. I suspected as much. God promised me I wouldn't die until I got to see your kid. Everything about this moment is perfect. Until Simeon says this. This child is destined for the rising and falling of many in Israel. He will be opposed so that the inner thoughts of many will be revealed, and a sword will pierce your own soul as well. Oh no, it's like this child is already 16. A sword will pierce your soul. Simeon and Anna have spent their lives in the temple courts because they're waiting. Simeon is waiting and praying for the comfort of Israel. Anna has been praying for the consolation of Israel. And from the perspective of the Gospel of Luke, Simeon and Anna are preparing Mary, but also us, the readers, for the pain that is coming. Before we get to the end of this Gospel, we'll see this same Mary, now herself a widow, like Anna, come back to this same city to see her son put to death in the same place where he was blessed. And I know Mary, when she looked up at the cross, saw her baby hanging there. I know that because every time I look at my 18-year-old daughter who's in college, I still see that little girl. Life brings constant change, and change often brings pain. And we all know this. You don't have to be a parent to know this. Because life is like this, there will be days when you feel like giving up, when it feels like the world is falling apart, when you lose confidence in the goodness of other people. And to get through days like that, we all need meaning and we need purpose. Those are the things that will get us through the bad times. And our children need meaning and purpose. And our gospel this morning has something to teach us. Mary, Joseph, Simeon, and Anna have something to teach us about how to find it. And the first thing we need to notice this morning is that Mary and Joseph are not doing anything unusual. Every parent in their community, when a baby was born, they went to the temple for the rites of purification. Every parent, when their firstborn was born, they went to dedicate that child to God. And it was a beautiful, simple ritual that was in the law that added meaning and purpose to their lives. And you probably don't need to be told this because you're sitting in an Episcopal church. But I would like to propose to you the idea that traditions like these are the things that give our life meaning and purpose. They give us depth. They give us constancy. They give us meaning. And these are the things that get us through lives of pain. And ritual in general, and I don't just mean religious ritual, but family rituals, like sitting down at the table to eat dinner, or rituals we do on Christmas morning, or how this last year, when my daughter was home from college and she said, hey Dad, where are the pajamas for Christmas Eve? There better be some pajamas in one of those gifts. Because it was tradition for her and Booker to wear pajamas on Christmas Eve and then fall asleep in the pew during the last third. I mean, traditions like that give us meaning and purpose. But in general, we don't have time for these anymore. We're just too busy. And when we do have time, our society tells us the solution to the busyness of our lives is just to veg out and check out. You guys know what I mean. You know that box that's in our pockets right now. You know there are only two industries that call their customers users. Drug dealers and cell phone salesmen. You get my point. So let me give you an example about meaning from baseball. Do you guys remember that sport? Have you ever heard of it? It's a sport we don't have time to watch because it lasts too long. We all know how it works, right? You hit the bat with the ball. You hit the ball with the bat. You run the bases. You try to get home, right? Score the most runs. Now let me be more specific. The Chicago Cubs are a baseball team. Has anyone heard of them? Okay, like Mary and Joseph, they have much pain. But they also have community and meaning in the midst of that pain. White flag time at Wrigley. The song, Go Cubs Go. If you catch the ball from the opposing team, the first ball, and the crowd will chant, throw it back, throw it back. You don't keep that ball. Harry Carey, or today Bill Murray, singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game at the 7th inning stretch, or just old style beer. All of these things put together turn a baseball game into a Cubs game. And it makes it special. The meanings, the traditions, the ritual, the action of the gathered community, they fill the game with meaning. And I'm not trying to make you guilty for owning a cell phone. I just want to ask us to ask ourselves the question. What are we doing in our lives that make the difference between just being alive and living life? What are we doing? Because when we answer this question, when we can name those things, then we will discover what gives us meaning and purpose to get through the pain that life will bring. And this is incredibly good news. Because Simeon and Anna in our gospel reading are living examples of good news. Simeon and Anna got up every day and went to the temple thinking, maybe today I'll see the one we've been waiting for. And that is good news, because that tells me I can live my life in such a way that even when I'm the age of Anna, even when I'm the age of Simeon, I can get up every day with expectation that God still has more to show me, that I have more to learn, that I have more to do, that God still has a use for me. And Simeon and Anna were able to wake up each day with this constant expectation because they repeatedly made small decisions to have good practices in their life, like praying at the temple every day. You know, there is one really good thing you could use your cell phone for. Did you know you could do morning prayer on your cell phone? It takes 10 to 15 minutes. Now, it's not the best way to do it because you'll be praying and you'll see text pop up and emails pop up and it will completely distract you, but it's better than nothing. The solution is my point. The solution to the pain of life is not to go comatose in front of a screen. The solution is not to pack our lives so full of activity that when we finally do have a chance to rest, all we can do is be comatose in front of a screen. The answer is just to make one small decision every day. And maybe this week, we just bless these candles. Today is Candle Mass. And at the end of the service, we'll have these candles. And if you want to take one home, and if this will help you do this, you could turn your phone off, you could light the candle to help you focus, and then just spend 2 minutes in silence before God. And if you do that for a week, and you feel like 2 minutes isn't long enough, well then do it for 5. And if you do that for a while and 5 isn't long enough, do it for 10. You get the idea. It only takes a few minutes a day to do something different, to set our life on a different course. When we had Booker, things were not easy. We spent the first 8 days of his life in the neonatal intensive care unit. And we didn't know what was going to happen. It was the hardest 8 days of our life. When Bella was born, we were flooded with visitors, but this was different. Hardly anyone came to see us, but 2 people did come. Booker and Marie Murphy. And this is the man Booker is named after. And Booker came into the room. He said, "Can I hold Booker?" He cooked Booker up in his arms, and he just started to sing this old spiritual. My Jesus prayed for me, had me on his mind, took a little time and prayed for me, got down on his knees. I'm so glad he prayed. I'm so glad he prayed for me. 10 minutes singing that song, tears in his eyes. And that was, as I said, the scariest time of our life. But one man, because he had grown up with this tradition, when people are sick, you go to them and see them and you sing to them. Because he did that, we were reminded of God's presence in a scary time. We have those traditions as well. I can't tell you how many times I've been at the bedside of someone who hasn't said anything in 2 weeks or been unresponsive or waiting to die, and then we say, "Our Father," and their mouths start to pray along with us. What will give your life meaning and purpose in the hard days?